Hi, welcome to the flipped instructional session for Math 08B for Unit 406, Properties of Rigid Transformations. Our objective for today is to describe the relationship between the pre-image and image in a sequence of transformations. We don't have any new vocab for today, so the vocab you will want is from previously in this unit. So the pre-image is the original image. The image is the new image after a transformation. A rigid transformation does not change size or shape. We also talk about non-rigid transformations where it does change size, but not shape. We've talked about rotations, reflections, and translations. So let's take a look at our first problem. So describe the sequence that results in the transformation from quadrilateral ABCD, that's the pre-image, to the image A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So when we look at this, there are a couple things. We can see that it's moved somewhat down. But if we said it just went down and over, that doesn't work because we have AB and here we have BA. This is going up. Over here it's going down. So something has happened. The first thing that actually happened is it flipped. We see it's 1, 2, 3 away. It's also 1, 2, 3 away here. So it's flipped over this axis. So when something flips, that's called a reflection. So we can see it reflected over the y-axis. So if all I had done is reflected, it would be here. So that's a reflection, but that's not where it is. So we have step 1, reflection over the y-axis. So it's important to know which axis, because if I reflected over the x-axis, it'd be down here. So this reflected over the y-axis, and then it moved down 2 units. So when we just move something straight down, that's called a translation. So translation 2 units down. So we reflected over the y-axis, and then we translated 2 units down. So the way that we write this in math is we take the original pre-image xy coordinates, and then we figure out what do we do to those coordinates to get the new coordinates of the new image. So it asks us what's happened. So if we look at this, we see that A, B, C, D, this is still A, B, C, D. So all it has done is moved over. And it's moved over horizontally. So the X has changed because it's moved horizontally. It has not moved vertically. So Y has not changed. So if we look at these, this says the original XY, when we move it, the X stays the same and the Y moves up 3. Well, that's not what happened. The X did not stay the same. The X moved. So this is not right. Here it says the X moved over 3 units. So let's check. Let's check with D. We start here. 1, 2, 3. Yep, it moved over 3 units. And Y stayed the same. That's correct. It did not move up or down. The Y coordinate stayed the same. This one right here tells us it moved over 3 and up 3. So this is what these mean. So this is not it. Triangle ABC is the pre-image of EKU. ABC, EKU. So this is something to keep in mind. ABC, we can coordinate that with EKU. So A goes with E, B goes with K, C goes with U, which is the result of a rotation about the vertex B. So it's rotated about B and translated right 2 units and down 1 unit. State which angles in EKU correspond to angles ABC. So I had already mentioned that you can just read it straight from the triangle, but we can also look. We see that A and E go together. If we rotate and slide it over, angle A corresponds to angle E. Angle B corresponds to angle K. And angle C corresponds to angle U. All right, this one is asking what is the correct transformation from the image? So we see A, B, C, D, and then A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. We can see it didn't just move down, it's flipped. So it's reflected over the x-axis. So what we see, if we just look at B right here, this is at negative 4, 3. So let's just look at some numbers. B prime is at negative 4, negative 3. So what stayed the same and what is different? The x's stayed the same. The y's are opposite. So when it's reflected over the x-axis, it went from being on top to being on bottom. The y changed. The x did not. So the x did not change. So x stays the same. Y is opposite. That's what this means. X stays the same, x to x, and then y to opposite y. That's all that means. This negative just means opposite. So this doesn't work because this is where they changed x. This, they changed both x and y. So that's how you write a reflection. For more examples and to practice writing the statements, look for the flipped follow-up on your Class Connect schedule. For more information on this, you can also come to a help lab to ask questions in general and about the entire unit. Hope to see you there. Thanks.